Hello, everybody. This is Angel Ribo with Walking on the Glass Floor, and we are again today celebrating the International Women's Day week. And we're going to be bringing in Judy Hoberman as every day. As you know, we have been talking about the Walking on the Glass Floor initiative, and we have been talking about gender equality because we think that women want to be treated equally and not identically. And we have been talking every single day this week. Today is Thursday of the International Week's Women's. Hold on a second. I'm going to be allowing. Hi, Jim. How are you? I'm going to allow everybody to be here and to be requesting to join. And I'm just waiting here. There she is. Okay, Judy. Hi. How are you? Approved. We're talking on the Glass Floor book, and every day. Hi,
Hello.
Joy. How are you? Oh
Hello.
my God. Hello, Judy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well. It's nice to be here in the afternoon as opposed to the evening. Excuse me, to the morning.
I know. It's awesome. It's awesome. How are you doing today?
Oh, very well. Thank you. It's been an incredible day since very early in the morning. Lots of phone calls, lots of work, lots of things going on. I guess the same with you, right?
Yeah, I started very early this morning and it just doesn't seem to want to stop, which is good. It's a good thing.
Exactly. By the way, so Joy's here again. Oh my God, Joy rocks. I mean, let me tell you, it doesn't matter if it's 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. I mean, what is it now? 4:45 p.m. Joy is here. So
Joy is always here. She is awesome.
I can't wait to meet with her. So just let me know when there's a chance to meet with her. Anyway, and we have also someone here talking on behalf of the Walking on the Glass Floor. So it must be someone from the team. Who might that be, Judy?
I don't know. It must be. I don't know. Is it Jim? Who is it?
Well, Jim is here as well. So, and then there's Alexis. Look at that.
Wow.
Joy, anytime, Joy. So today we're talking about communication, which is of the seven, is the fourth essential quality of women who lead, right?
Absolutely. And it's a big one.
And as I was doing in previous days, let me kind of describe a little bit what are the different items that you cover on your Walking on the Glass Floor. I have already shown the book to the audience 2 or 3 times before you joined. So number one is foster healthy relationships. The second is create an environment for greatness. I love that one. Third, the art of listening. Oh my God, it's so important.
Yeah.
We so not listen. Judy, oh my God. The next one, ask questions with purpose. The next one, the power of storytelling in business. And then finally, followership. Oh my God, amazing chapter. I mean, incredible chapter. So let's talk about communication. Why do you think, according to your experience, why do you think communication is so important as a trait, as a quality for a woman that leads?
Well, I believe that we all communicate differently. And as a good leader, you have to know how your team or how your vendors or how your people like to communicate with you, whether it's written, whether it's spoken, whether it's picking up the phone, whether it's texting, whatever. But communication can get lost because a lot of times people are not hearing what you're saying. You talk and they already have a response in their head and they're not even really listening to you. And so you have to be very careful to do little questions. Like, did you hear what I said? Or is this what I heard? Or something like that. Because many times I've said something and people respond. I'm like, that's not even what I asked. In my head, I'll say that, but I'll say something like, let me clarify that, because I know they haven't listened. And I think people have a very difficult time being active listeners because they have too many things going on in their mind. And I always tell people the first thing you should always do when you go to meet someone is say to them, are you okay if I take notes? Because when you take notes, you have to listen, right? Now, what's that person going to say? Yes or no? If they say, no, I don't want you to take notes, then you don't take notes. But most people will say yes, because you get to really listen and you get to repeat back what you heard in their own words. So communication is a huge topic.
The more and more we talk about the different, qualities of women that lead, there's a word that comes to my mind all the time, listening to your responses, obviously, and to your experience, which is mindfulness.
Mm-hmm.
It's like to be present. It's like you really have to be, putting all the effort, your personal effort and attention to the person that you are talking to. Would you say that maybe that's also one of the reasons that why women have not been treated equally, historically speaking, maybe because they haven't received all that attention when they are communicating in the corporate world, for instance.
Well, I think you're correct on that, Angel, because a lot of times people will say things and they're not, that's what I'm saying, they're not heard exactly the way they want to be heard. And you have to also understand that women like to be storytellers and men like to be bullet pointers. So when you're talking to a man and you're giving this whole story, he's already tuned you out until he hears a word that's interesting and he tunes you back in and then he tunes you out again. That's what statistics say. It's not saying every man is like that or every woman is like that. Generally speaking, that's what happens. So when you start to really have this conversation and you're going on and he's either looking at his watch or he's tapping his foot or he's rolling his eyes or he's just totally checked out, he's not hearing some of the brilliance that you want to share. He's already done with that. Like you just talk too much. And that's what happens.
And not only that, because I also think, when I was thinking about, okay, so how can we learn to listen? Writing is a great idea because you definitely have to pay more attention. Mm-hmm. But also, it's a matter of listening, but also then after listening, what comes next? What's the next thing that you have to say when you have already listened?
If you already listened, you can start another question, ask another question. And I always talk about open-ended questions because you get people to talk even more. And as if you're in sales, which we're all in sales, or you're a leader and you're trying to get your team to do something, you have to ask open-ended questions because you want to hear what they have to say. You want their input so they know that you're listening to them. But relationships are started by asking questions and they're cemented by listening. And after you listen, you ask more questions. If I asked you a question, is that what you were looking for, Angel? And you said no, either I wasn't clear or I wasn't listening. Okay, and so now I'm going to go back and say, okay, so let's start with this. And I'm going to do smaller bites now. I'm going to say, okay, so is this what you meant? Yeah, this is what I meant. Is this what you meant? Yep. But this one, I didn't hear you correctly. So it's always questions. It's questions and answering.
But could it also be that maybe sometimes you are afraid of asking questions?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Of course. You don't want to ask questions. You want that. So many times people go into a situation and they want to get out as fast as possible. They'll ask a question. Oh, it doesn't sound like it's right. I'm out the door. They're afraid. They're afraid of rejection. They're afraid of the conversation. They're afraid of somebody saying to them something that they don't want to hear. They don't want to be part of that real conversation. So I'm not sure why people are afraid to ask questions unless they really don't want to hear the answer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And one day this week, I asked you about, what made you write this amazing book called Walking on the Glass Floor. Today, I would like to ask you a different question. How did you go from writing this book into thinking, oh my God, maybe we could take this to another level and we could start helping companies with the Walking on the Glass Floor initiative? What was that how did you bridge that gap? Let's put it this way.
So, when you create something and you think it's really good, but you really need the confirmation from other people. So every time somebody read the book, they would send a note, they would send an email, they'd pick up the phone, they'd send me a text and they'd say, oh my God, this is the best book. I've been doing the exercises because you have to do them. And I've learned so much about myself. So we decided that there was more different ways that we can help people. And when we realized that these were the qualities that women are either pushing down or not realizing that they are qualities of leadership, we also found that there were men that understood some of these. And that some of the men actually encouraged women to use these or themselves. So we decided that we were going to put together a training that was going to be to help more women in leadership and to encourage men to be champions. But then we also realized that there was more to it because the qualities are the qualities and they're awesome. But we needed to understand, we needed to let people know, why are we still talking about this? What's the beginning? Like, why do people need to know about this? So we set the stage, and that's the beginning of the training, to set the stage where it's very relevant, where something's happening every minute. And as we're speaking, there's probably 10 more articles that just came out about women in leadership and how it affects the bottom line, or how men can encourage women and have a more successful business and things like that. So we started to pull and have a library of articles. And then we decided that this is such a big topic that whenever I mentioned it to anybody that I knew that I thought had some, leadership qualities of their own, the team was formed. All of a sudden, like everybody, like I had a conversation with you and Alexis and Jim and Sheila and Amy and Danielle and everybody and Dawn and everybody said we want to be part of this because everybody had their own experiences with this topic. And then at the end, we encourage people to continue this. And we talked about this yesterday, I think, that the needle has to be moved. And the only way you're going to move the needle is if everybody does one thing, just one thing. And so we ask people to make a commitment to keep this going. And then, we help companies redefine culture to make it, not to make it so only women come in, but to make it an environment that's trusted, an environment where people work together, are respected, and there's open lines of communication, and there's transformation. And so that's really what happened. We decided we wanted to do something bigger. The book is awesome, and the book has the foundation. And as well as I do, the foundation is really important. It's important for wisdom for kids. It's important for, women. So we're able to offer companies, a gift back to be able to say, I am now taking, I'm going to donate money towards Wisdom for Kids or another foundation. And so it all wrapped up together, and it's really amazing. So that's how it started.
Awesome. So maybe it's because it's the afternoon, but there's a few things I forgot to say in the beginning. So
Okay.
let me back up a little bit. So number one, actually, when Judy was mentioning like different names, all the names that she mentioned are actually the facilitators of the of the Walking on the Glass Floor initiative. And you can find all those names, and not only the names, but the bios and the incredible journeys that everybody has had in their professional career.
Yes.
Okay, and you can find that where, Judy?
Walking on the Glass Floor, meet our team.
Okay, awesome. So walkingongtheglassfloor.com, you go to the Meet Our Team and you will see all that. Then she just mentioned Wisdom for Kids. So I happen to be a global consultant, CEO consultant, but also the co-founder and president of the Wisdom for Kids Foundation. I am extremely blessed that part of the proceeds of the Walking on the Glass Floor book sales actually go to the Wisdom for Kids Foundation. And what we do is we help underprivileged kids in Latin America become entrepreneurs using the local resources. And we obviously focus a lot on girls because we want to help girls as much as we can. Definitely it would be wise to maybe say, everybody knows who Judy is. Obviously, she's such a celebrity already, but she's executive director. Let me read what the book says of the Walking on the Glass Floor Foundation and president of the Selling in a Skirt. It's very well known. I would really have a hard time in the Dallas area, North Texas. It's definitely, there's nobody in the women leadership arena that doesn't know Judy. That's for sure. But then when you start talking to people in other places in the country, actually, it happens the same thing. And probably Joy, Alexis, Jim, whoever is watching us now, they definitely can subscribe to this point of view. But anyway, let's continue with the conversation.
Before you go on, I have to show you a picture. Can you see this picture?
Oh, that's a palette, yeah. A couple of palettes.
That's right. Those are all, we just got books delivered.
Oh my God, awesome.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Yeah, so we have lots of ideas for books, and so if you haven't read the book yet, you should get one for yourself and get one for all the women in your life that are great leaders and the men who are great champions. Just saying. Okay, continue.
Exactly. So, I think we've all been, as facilitators, we've all been training in corporate for a long time. Okay, so a training is as good as the transformation that it provides to the organization that receives it. Yes. And obviously, you have put a lot of effort to make sure that this training is really going to be the first step of the transformation of a corporation or of a women leader. So what would you say, how would you describe this transformation that the Walking on the Glass Floor initiative is bringing to the world?
The transformation is really about yourself. You learn so much about yourself, things that you had no idea were going on, things that might have happened from early childhood, things that have happened in your life. Maybe it's where you grew up or how you grew up and the beliefs that you had, the unconscious biases that you had, or just like the lack of confidence. Those things are going to come pouring out. And all of a sudden, you're going to start to see that it really wasn't anything that should be holding you back. But we all have our own limiting beliefs. When you are part of the training and you start to have this relationship with the other people in the training, all of a sudden this safe place for you becomes even safer, and you're able to share these things. And between everyone, you realize that we've all had the same kind of situations, and this is what leaders are made of. Everybody has a story. And when you are able to tell the story, it might be difficult. You might be crying about it. It doesn't matter, because you have all these people that are holding the space for you. So the transformation is really about yourself and how you bring your leadership qualities to the table and why they are so important. When we talked about courage yesterday, can you imagine? I mean, if you've watched my TED Talk, and most of our, a lot of our trainers have, and a lot of my friends have, when you watch my TED Talk, you would have to wonder how I get up in front of people, because of the things that were said to me. But you have to rewind the tapes, and that's what the training does. It helps you rewind the tapes in your head so you can be that effective leader, so you can be a great listener, so you can be, a person that asks the right questions in the right way. So it's very self-reflective in order for you to become the effective leader that you can.
Is it possible to provide a transformation without making a business case? Is it possible? I mean, do you? I mean, that looks like a very obvious question, but I would like the audience to know that, because it's not just this path of transformation, but it really impacts the business of the corporations, of course.
Oh yeah, without question. It's very transformational. But first you have to be able to know this. You have to know you. Now the business is also going to see that they probably have some untapped resources. They have potential people that are sitting right in front of them that they're not even aware of, because they haven't either taken the time or extended an offer or provided an opportunity, or the candidate themselves hasn't said, I would like this. Okay, so that's part of it. The other part of it is I don't know how many different companies have done articles, the big ones, Deloitte and McKinsey and Catalyst, and all of them talk about the way that the bottom line, the profitability of a company will go way up, increases, because you have a diverse leadership team. And diversity comes in many different flavors, but if we're talking about women right now, that women alone will make a huge transformation. So there's lots of business cases. There's always business cases. But in order for you to have the right business case, you also have a personal case, because they're wrapped together. As a leader, you cannot get up there and do what you're supposed to do if you don't know yourself. That's my thought. What do you think? What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that really, from a corporate standpoint, nothing makes sense unless there's a business case behind it. Unless, there's really an impact on different areas. I would say, like, if we are not able to make an impact at the top level of the company, then everything becomes more and more difficult. And everybody who is out there that probably has received some sort of training, the challenge is, okay, so what do I do with this? How would I make sure that this really changes what I'm doing today and changes the entire organization? So definitely, there has to be a business case made out of the impact of the walking on the glass floor. And we've seen many different examples. We've seen, for instance, companies that they go to the market and they have a certain profile of customers, but unfortunately, if you break down who is part of the company, who's making the decisions, are they really aligned with their market? What has your experience been?
Well, and that's the truth. A lot of times, I can go back to financial, because that's where I come from. A lot of companies have their whole entire leadership team are male, 100%, and yet their clients are female. So how are you able to show that there's an alignment between what you're offering and what you have, the people that you have to do it? You also said something interesting about, if you don't change at the very top, nothing's going to change. And I will tell you, I worked for a CEO, and he told me that he could never ask for help because he knew everything about everything. So he never really had to do that. So you can't change somebody's mind like that. However, I was in charge of all the sales and all the product. And so when he had me come up every single Friday for 3 hours and go over sales and product. And when we were done, when it was all said and done, I said to him, so do you need any help? He said, no, you gave me everything I needed, but it wasn't help. Okay, because
Oh,
he wouldn't
okay.
because he would not ask for help. Because so I said to him, then I just gave you extra knowledge, and he said, yes, that's what you gave me. So you have to be also be careful of the words that you use, because sometimes they hear a word and they don't want it. They don't think it's an issue. They may not think that women is an issue, and it's not. Women aren't the issue. It's a
Mhm.
business issue. So if you go in and say, oh, I know you have issues, getting women promoted into leadership, they don't have an issue with that. That's not their issue. Their issue is their bottom line. Their issue is their profit. That's what it is. So you have to be really careful not to say, so you need my help? Because he clearly didn't need my help. He needed my knowledge and my expertise, but he didn't need my help. So, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, you have to be really careful. When you're at the top, you have to change that mindset before you can change anything. Because if you don't change that, you're not going to get anywhere.
Exactly. So this is the kind of impact and the businesses that the Walking on the Glass Floor initiative is making in the world every single day. So I would like to finalize our conversation today, just to say that obviously we're going to be here back tomorrow, and we're going to be talking tomorrow about at least about decisiveness.
Mm.
Decisiveness. That's awesome, and I can't wait to be back tomorrow and to talk about this. What would you like to say today about, we're finalizing, we're well over half of the 7 trades. We were on the 4th today, so we still have 3 to go. We still don't know if it's going to be 3 more days, or we're going to kind of wrap it up in a couple of days, but we'll see. And
Yep.
look at that, we have Jim Bouchard here helping us, so joining us. Thank you very much for being here,
Yeah.
Jim Bouchard. By the way, Jim, also Steinmark made a great comment about the untapped potential that exists and it still resides in your companies.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Jim Bouchard is saying that you are the best. I can
This is
say me. I can say me. It's just Judy, Jim. It's just
yeah.
Judy.
No, there's some really special people out there that
Exactly.
actually support what we do, and we support
Hmm.
what they do, and that's another part of communication. It's all about building relationships.
Hmm.
That's what we do.
Absolutely. And with Jim, I mean, I have to say thank you very much for your comment. Obviously, I was just kidding. But yeah, exactly. I mean, I can think of a better man example of a man championing women forever, right? So yeah, thank you very much, Jim, for being with us today as well. And well, just to wrap it up again, where can we find more about the Walking on the Glass Floor?
You can go to www.walkingontheglassfloor.com. You
Hmm.
can, read the part about Meet the Team. Every single team member has experience like you can't even imagine in different verticals, so that's pretty cool. You can also look at some of the articles that have been written and some of the things that we do every day. We also, which I love, is we have an active Twitter feed. So there's, if you're on our page, you can actually see what we're doing also. So that's pretty cool. And we partner with great people, with really great people. So every day people give us introductions to other people that we need to know. So we love that, and we appreciate that more than we can say. So thank you for that. And Angel, where can we find you?
Thank you. Well, you can find me online. I'm very often online, of almost every day, and I happen to also share the floor on a show every single Tuesday on Mindalia TV, and we've been blessed with Jim as well at the Mindalia TV show on
Yep.
women equality. So that's one place. You can obviously send me an email anytime to angel@angelrebo.com. You can find me also on on the Wisdom for Kids today webpage. That's my foundation's or my co-foundation webpage. And I will be extremely glad and blessed to be tomorrow again to keep on talking about women in leadership and women equality, and to keep on making a difference in the world with you and with the permission of our audience. So again, thank you again for being with all the audience today. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. It's been a blessing. And see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow's International Women's Day, so it's even more special.
Exactly. Buy books. You saw the pallets. Buy books.
Yeah.
We have plenty of them. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you very much. See you tomorrow.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye.
Goodbye to all our friends. Bye-bye.